Hi, my name is Rajesh Jain and welcome to my LifePage. And today we are going to talk about design and architecture. But before proceeding, I would like to give my own introduction. So as I said, my name is Rajesh Jain and I belong to the very small town near Indore in Madhya Pradesh that is called Nagda, where I did my schooling from the Grasim School. After completing my school in 1984, I was selected for the architecture. Architecture was not my interest subject, but because I was selected, I developed my interest in architecture. And I completed my architecture from Bhopal, which is the regional engineering college. Presently, it is called NIIT MACT Bhopal in 1990. After completing my architecture, I came to Delhi and worked in a company called Consulting Engineering Services. And from 1990 to 2003, I worked in this company. There were initially very challenges which I faced because belonging to a very small town and coming to the Delhi, I had lots of problems related to my communication, presentation. It's a very interesting subject and it is related to designing the buildings and the things related to the buildings. Like for example, landscaping, color schemes, and backgrounds, elevations, and many things together. It's a very interesting subject and mainly this talks about the two things, which is design and architecture. So designing is a skill and where we create things out of the lines and the boxes, and architecture is related to the buildings. So when we design a building or building related part, then it all comes into this design and architecture. There is a very interesting course for this and that is called architecture. There are colleges all over India where we can enroll ourselves for Bachelors of Architectural course, which is a 5-year course, and this one can apply after doing 12th. Mainly the mathematics is the important subjects one has to have. Important is the history of architecture. Now this history of architecture comprises mainly into two parts. One is the Indian history of architecture. Again it is divided into two parts, Northern architecture and the Dravidian architecture. And mainly we talk about the temples, their evaluations, buildings, pagodas, stupas, and arches, colonnade, columns, beams, domes. These are the things which comes into it. When we talk about the international architecture, then it is spread all over the Europe and it starts from the Gothic architecture with many initial architecture right from the Egyptian architecture. Sketching is like a part where you may be sitting in a room and sketching up the corner of the room, or maybe you are sitting in a lawn and sketching what you seeing it. Similarly, if you are at the beach, you can sketch that up also. Or if you are standing on the terrace and you can do the sketch. Sketching is like you have the skill of the dimensions. So like if tree is 10 feet tall and the dog is only 2 feet, your sketch will say it like the dog is 2 feet and the tree is 10 feet. But no monotony. And every building is a new building and every project is a new project. So whenever you get a project, you think completely new, and because the client is also a different client, then your all requirements are also different. Even the building will be designed at a different place. So if you're designing a building in Bombay and designing a building in Delhi, again it is different. So everything is new, every set of requirements are new and every project is new. And that is a very good part of architecture. You never feel monotonous. You always feel that you are creating something new. And that always keeps your life on a very vibrant mode. Growth is entirely understanding the client's psychology or the person who is sitting in front of you. Understand his psychology is the biggest challenge in architecture, because you have to understand what the person wants and then how you will communicate what you want, and you have to come to the point where both can agree to it. Now if there is a client, then you have to understand what cost he wants to spend, what kind of design he is looking for. But if you are sitting in front of an engineer, then you have to explain your architect's life is, sometimes it is very simple, very enjoyable, because they are designing a building. So when there is a designing goes on, they are very happy because they are creating something new. When they present their design to the client, again it is a very skillful act, but they have to do it, and then they have to complete it, positively, winningly. But the most difficult part comes when you have to do the site visits. You have to visit the site, and it sometimes takes whole day. And then you have to be sometimes 20 feet below the ground and sometimes 100 feet above the ground. And you have to look each and every area of the building so that you can guide them properly. But again, it is very interesting. And you see that how the building is coming up day by day. And when things goes right, you really enjoy it. Sometimes the things doesn't go right. So you have to really guide them in such a way that it can become right from that moment onward. So it's sometimes very hectic, sometimes very time taking, sometimes you're sitting in a meeting till the night, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and putting your point across. Sometimes you are sitting with the client and having a dinner so that you can develop a very good friendship with that client. So it's a very hectic sometimes, but you can manage according to your understanding, your knowledge, your own power, own skillful tactics. You can manage your day, and these are really very interesting. Hope I have given a sufficient understanding of this subject, which is design and architecture. Thank you very much.